everybody, welcome back to my channel. It has been 4 years since I last posted a mix of random things. I think my last video I told you guys that I was moving, so I ended up moving to British Columbia in beautiful Victoria, and yeah, it's been a few years since I've been living here. And I just wanted to come on and restart, I guess, my YouTube channel. Not that it really was a YouTube channel, but just restart it because I'm actually on maternity leave at the moment. So my little girl is 4 months now, and I'm a mom, which is super exciting, that I wanted to share. And I guess I wanted to restart this channel because I just wanted to talk about my birth experience and how postpartum has been going so far, because I definitely underestimated postpartum and it was more challenging than I thought it was, and I just wanted to show up as my true authentic self. First and foremost, I usually never wear my glasses, maybe because I'm self-conscious about it. Just because, I don't know, I feel more confident in my contact lenses, but decided to wear my glasses because mom life, and it's just easier to put onto my face. I usually like to do my eye makeup as well, didn't do that either. And there's pimples growing on my face as well, so this is all my hormones balancing out. But to be honest, I had pimples before in the past as well. But yeah, just wanted to pop on, and I guess this video I just wanted to talk about my C-section experience because I did not give birth vaginally. Most people would assume that you would try to give birth vaginally, but I decided to go with the C-section route. Personal choices, but yeah, I decided to go with the C-section route. And if I were to go back in time, I think I would have done the same. So if I have a second kid, I think I would prefer a C-section, I think. But who knows? I've never tried a vaginal birth, so I can't really compare to that. But I had a really good experience. I delivered at Victoria General Hospital really early in the morning. I remember my husband and I were driving in that day. I think I had anxiety like the whole week leading up to it. So I took about 2 weeks off before my actual due date. And I had a lot of anxiety leading up to it because it is considered a major abdominal surgery and they are cutting 7 layers, which sounds really freaky and scary. But yeah, I just decided that would be the best option of how I wanted my daughter to come to this world. But yeah, we went really early at the hospital. Before that, I was at home and I had to use special surgical scrubs to scrub everything basically like neck and below to make sure that I was all cleaned up. So I had to use a scrub before going to the hospital. We arrived 2 hours early and we checked in with the hospital staff. By the way, everyone at Victoria General Hospital is super kind, super accommodating. Every single person that made my stay there was so welcoming, so helpful, with a lot of knowledge, and I'm so grateful for that. And everybody in the surgical team made me feel at ease and so calm throughout the whole process, as well as my husband, of course. But I just thought I'd talk about VGH for a minute there. So I did my whole shower and cleaned myself, arrived at the hospital, and then when we got there, we checked into our postpartum ward, where I met a nurse who helped me with my IV fluids. So typically the IV fluids goes into, I guess, your hand, generally in one of the veins here. But I think my veins were too small, so they had tried my right hand and left hand, couldn't get the IV in, so then they poked the IV kind of in the side of my hand here. And yeah, so that was done by a nurse who was really helpful and kind. And then they also checked the baby's heartbeat to see that everything is going fine and well. And then I was, after about an hour and a half or so, I was approached by 2 nurses. They're the surgical nurses who took me into the surgical room for my spinal tap. So I think a spinal tap is similar to an epidural, so it also gets placed into your back, but I think in a different position. The spinal tap lasts a little bit longer than an epidural for C-section surgeries because you are awake for the surgery. So I said goodbye to my husband then because your husband is not allowed, or your support person is not allowed to go with you when you do your spinal tap. I went to the operating room, and the two kind nurses helped me how to arch my back because you have to arch it in a certain way for the anesthesiologist to like poke it into the right spot. So I was really thankful and grateful for them because I was very anxious. I didn't know what to expect, but I just took a deep breath and just left it to God. I believe in God to just help me through this process, and I relax as much as I can because I really needed the spinal tap to work because I do not want to feel anything at all during the C-section surgery, especially if they're not cutting me open and all of the things. So I got that done. I think my first reaction to getting the spinal tap was like I started shaking uncontrollably, which the anesthesiologist said it was totally normal, totally fine. Honestly, so grateful the anesthesiologist. He was wonderful. He kept me at ease, same with the two surgical nurses. And then we started, I guess I couldn't feel much at that point. I was like lying down. So they started testing certain instruments to see if I can feel certain things before starting the surgery because I was also worried, like, what if the anesthesia does not work and then I'm like midway through the procedure and I feel something. The anesthesiologist was testing all these different utensils and how I felt and all the things. And then, so that took a little bit. And then after my anesthesia kicked in, the other surgical nurse inserted a urinary catheter for me because I couldn't pee, right? So then the urinary catheter would help me empty out my bladder. So that was inserted after the anesthesiologist numbed me. So I could feel, when you're numb, you can still feel things that are happening in your body, but you can't actually feel the pain itself. So I can feel like something is going through, I guess, my urinary tract because I did feel something go up, but it wasn't painful at all. It was just like a sensation that I felt. And the OBGYN who started my surgery, I was grateful. She didn't tell me that she started because I think I would have been anxious. And then my husband arrived shortly after. And I think we met our baby girl about 10-15 minutes into the surgery. My first reaction was like, I was still shaking on the table because it was like the effect from the anesthesia. And I just cried because like I was like, she's here, like this 9 months I've been preparing for her arrival. She's here, she's safe. The OBGYN lifted her up for us to see and then brought her around for me to see. And in that moment I just felt so at peace because she was here and she was safe, and I think that like I assumed she was safe because like they didn't rush her off to the pediatrician who was also in the surgery room with us at the time. So so that happened, and then my husband went over to see our daughter with the pediatricians while they did their test, and then they cleaned her up and they bundled her all up, and they brought my husband brought her back, and he got to sit beside me and show her our daughter, which was really, really, honestly, like such a special moment in my life. I've always wanted to be a mom. I've always wanted to have kids, and this was something that was a dream come true to me because I also had to go to Olive Fertility, which I'm very, very grateful for that clinic to help me get pregnant. And I was very, very thankful and grateful for that moment. For those who are trying to conceive, please keep trying. I understand all the emotions and pains and things that you go through. I've had a miscarriage. I fully get it. And it was just truly such a special moment for my husband and I. So that was kind of my C-section experience, and then it took another 45 minutes for them to like stitch me back up, and then they transferred me. Once they're done stitching me back up, the whole procedure I think took like an hour 15 minutes. They transferred me to like another bed, and then I was wheeled out, and my husband and baby were there waiting for me while I recovered. Couldn't feel anything at all for the first little bit. I guess I was on a lot of painkillers as well through my IV fluid. I was given some water, and then I was able to start breastfeeding. And I think I stayed in the, I guess, post-operating area for about like 2 hours or so. And by the time we got to our room, it was in the afternoon. At that point, my legs were starting to get feeling back, so I was starting to feel more of the feelings in my legs. And they also put some, I don't know what to call, but they wrapped some things around my leg so I can avoid getting blood clots because I wasn't walking. So I had that for a little bit on, and they took that off kind of later in the afternoon that day. And then later that evening around 2 a.m., I got my urinary catheter take out, and they told me to try peeing for the first time, which I was thankfully able to do. And they also gave me some laxatives because they were encouraging me to pass gas. And I read, which I think is very helpful for those future C-section mamas out there, have some gum. I think that really helped me pass gas, and also try to walk when you can. I know it's painful to walk the first time after having abdominal surgery, but even if you walk from your hospital bed to the bathroom in your room and back, that's still a walk, and you're still walking, you're still moving your body. And that will help you with your recovery. And I'm very grateful that I pushed myself to do that, even though it was painful and hard. And if you ever need to cough or anything at all, pillow on your incision, because coughing or laughing or anything for the first time for like the first couple of weeks, it feels, yeah, it's like a whole indescribable feeling. So definitely recommend covering your incision with a pillow. If you're walking, if you're sneezing or laughing, even laughing, oh my gosh, I tried to avoid laughing for like the first couple of weeks because laughing is hard. And I also blame myself because I don't really work out, and I guess I should have worked on my core before having a C-section. So that was challenging in terms of like not realizing how much you use your core, and how much you have to like depend on other parts of your body, like your arms and your legs, to be strong as you recover. So I think that was hard for me. So I definitely recommend doing some strength training exercises, which my husband always recommends that I do. Unfortunately, I didn't really listen to him, so hence that. But yeah, I highly recommend doing some strength training exercises as you do it. I'm also sharing this video very organically as well. I don't plan on editing this because I feel like a lot of videos nowadays are super edited. It's all glammed up. I guess I'm not an influencer, but like most influencers are all glammed up with their hair and their makeup and all the things, which I mean, I should have maybe put on more makeup and all the things, but then I also wanted to be, this is who I am as a mom who has a 4-month-old. So I just wanted to be that as well. But yeah, some of the challenges that I also want to address as I was recovering from my C-section was that I couldn't sleep on my side. So I'm a side sleeper, and I had a lot of issues sleeping on my side after surgery. So I was literally on my back every time I tried to go to sleep, which was hard for me because I'm not a back sleeper at all. So I had a lot of pillow support for that. So that was a bit challenging for me. I also had a lot of lower back pain, also due to my lack of core that I had to begin with, and that took a little while to get better. Like walking, sitting, like doing anything felt uncomfortable for me. I was on Tylenol every like 6 hours, Tylenol and Advil for like the first 3 weeks. Like just even going around the block in my neighborhood seemed like a challenge. I definitely underestimated postpartum recovery. I didn't think about it too much, and then your hormones are going wild, so I was like crying all the time. It was like just mentally challenging as well, and you're also tired because you're trying to take care of your newborn while you can barely take care of yourself. So I definitely recommend having your husband or your support person or extra people to help you out, at least for the first 6 to 8 weeks, because you really do need that time to recover and just to be there for you mentally, emotionally, and all those things, because your hormones are also out of whack. You're also bleeding, and all the things, and you're just trying to recover. Showering was also hard for me. I needed my husband to help me shower. I needed to sit in a stool to help me shower. And then at one point I was scared that I would never feel normal again. But rest assured, you will. I think there might be a moment where you're like, oh my gosh, like I don't feel like myself at all. I feel totally out of my body. That was how I felt. Um, and I think, to be honest, it took me about 6 to 8 weeks for me to feel normal again. I also learned more about myself. Apparently, I drop a lot of things on the ground because I had to get my husband to pick up a million things every day. And I hadn't realized how many things I dropped on the ground until after the surgery because I wasn't supposed to bend too much. So that was also something that I learned about myself. But all that to say is that even though postpartum is challenging, I want to acknowledge that you're not alone. It's going to be hard. You're going to go through different emotions and feelings, and that's totally normal. And you will feel like yourself again, and you will recover, and you will be stronger. Coming from someone who's experienced it, doesn't really work out too much. So I think that's important to knowledge, and also to really look into also C-section massage therapy afterwards as well. I think doing the C-section massage after you're cleared by your doctor is very helpful. It would help you also, I guess, minimize your C-section shelf if you have any. It also reduces scar adhesion and also improves scar mobility as well. So I think all of that is important. So definitely see like a postnatal registered massage therapist help with that. And then also for your pelvic floor, even though you didn't deliver vaginally, the pelvic floor physio has been very helpful. By no means am I an expert in either of those things, but those two things did really help me personally with my recovery. As well, that I wanted to share too. And definitely invest in high-waisted underwear because you may be like me and be not wanting your underwear to touch the scar while you're recovering. So definitely invest in some high-waisted underwear that you can wear postpartum as well. Make sure to stay hydrated, have good nutrition, try to sleep when you can. I think that advice kind of is very helpful, like sleep when the baby sleeps. But then it also gave me a lot of sleep anxiety that if I couldn't fall asleep because I was so wired, I would panic that I'm not getting enough sleep. And you know what? Sometimes you just have to relax. I think something that I learned is that, like, if you can't sleep, it's okay. Like, at least you're resting, you're lying in your bed, you're doing something, hopefully, that's relaxing for you in your bed. And I think that I gave myself a lot of pressure to sleep when my baby was sleeping or when it was my turn to sleep, and the more pressure I gave myself, the harder time I had to sleep. And I'm now taking melatonin and magnesium to help with my sleep, and it's been a lot better. Not obviously, maybe not perfect, but a lot better than what I was doing before. And I think that's important, is to like just give yourself grace, give your body grace. I think I was having a hard time because I'm like, oh, I'm not bouncing back to my usual self, forgetting the fact that I just delivered a baby, and I had a major abdominal surgery. I forgot all those things. So I think like what I wanted to say is like, give yourself grace. Postpartum is hard. Like, you're taking care of a newborn, you're recovering from abdominal surgery, or vaginal delivery if you're having a baby, and just to give yourself grace. And give your body some love, that it will return to how you're used to feeling. And I think that's something that I want to remind all the mamas who are going through postpartum at the moment, or who just gave birth, who are about to give birth, that all those things are super important, that you keep in mind. I guess I've been babbling on for a while, but yeah, I just wanted to share with you like a brief overview of my C-section experience and what I went through, in case this video is helpful to anybody else, that it's okay to show up on this internet not looking like your best self, aka right now. It's like, and also to give your body and grace that it will return to how you're normally feeling and all the things. And I just also want to thank you to everybody at Olive Fertility, and also to Victoria General Hospital, for making my birth experience so much less stressful than what I thought I would encounter. So I'm really, really grateful for that. And if you guys have any questions about I don't know, C-section deliveries, postpartum questions, I'm not an expert by any means, but I can definitely share and answer any of questions that you might have. And I think as my baby grows older, I think I'll continue to post videos and just random things about life here and there. But thank you for watching this and rejoining me. I feel like I haven't posted in 4 years, so I guess whoever subscribed to me before maybe like, whoa, this is different content. It is different content. It's mama content, and just like things about life in general. Trying to be myself, and yeah, like my house is also a bit of a mess. You can see my daughter's toys and things in the background, and all the things. But yeah, I hope that everybody is doing well, having a great day, and I would love to hear from you if you have any questions. Thank you for tuning in and following along, and enjoy the rest of your day.